What's up, y'all? Let's get into it. What's going on, bro?
Not much. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing better now that we figured out this fucking Skype thing.
Yeah, got that figured out. We just couldn't
Dude,
do the intro.
dude, we went 10 minutes and none of it was recorded on your ears. Like the audio wasn't working. What the fuck?
Oh well. I guess it happens after it's been a little while.
Yeah, I told you we were going to be rusty. It's been a couple of months, but hey, life happens. So, we're at the mid-season of the NBA. What team has surprised you the most?
The Knicks being fifth in the East. I don't
Why'd you
know if there's
start off with
another
the
answer
Knicks?
because there's not another answer to that question.
Dude, we could spend the whole hour just ragging on Knicks fans. Like, why'd you start with the Knicks? You could have said Utah. They're leading the NBA.
That's fine. They showed signs of talent. I'm surprised they're leading the NBA, but the Knicks were like, bottom of the barrel almost last year, and now they're number five in the East, which
That
isn't saying a. I mean, number five in the East is pretty close to the 500 ball.
right,
So it's not
right,
like they're
right.
amazing, or maybe in the Western Conference they'd be farther down. But the fact that they're at that point and they're looking at least somewhat consistent and stuff, it's just they have to be the answer to that question. There's not another team surprise that's as big as the Knicks. Come on,
Are you trying to turn all of New York against me? Because I've had that heat in the past. Are you trying? That's what you're trying to do.
no, you ain't worried about that.
I have a love hate relationship with New Yorkers. And those fans have been obnoxious the last 2 weeks. Have you seen like all the crazy memes and stuff? Like they've been so obnoxious the last 2 weeks. Even Riley agrees. He's over here right now. But they've been so obnoxious. But kudos to the Knicks. Kudos to Tom Thibodeau coming there and changing the culture there. Um,
Hmm.
Randall, what Randall is doing now, Randall has actually done most of the last 2 to 3 seasons. It just wasn't broadcast because the Knicks were trash. So he
Hmm.
Thibodeau has them buying into his defensive principles, his hard work, grinding principles, and that's the change. And I like it. I've watched a few Knicks games so far this season, and I like it. I'm enjoying it. I They're not going to make a deep playoff run, but for them to be where they're
No.
at now, considering the last 20 some odd years, those fans are thirsty. And I look at the memes and I kind of smile to myself. But then my wife reminds me, she's like, well, they haven't had anything going on in the last 20 years. So let them have their moments. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
I'll let them have their. Dude, I saw one the other day. I forgot to send it to you. Their record right now, the meme said the last time their records matched this was in 1999, with the last time they went to the finals. And I about choked on my
Mm.
drink.
But even as a Magic fan, I'm like, oh, that sounds rough. That sounds like a long
Yeah,
time.
it's a long time, bro.
Well, and this time the Knicks, as in looking at it from like an outside perspective, I feel like they legitimately have something more to build on and be excited about than like the odd situation that was Linsanity or the short stint where Stoudemire and Carmelo were there together because that always seemed a little odd or like one of them was hurt. This seems
Yeah.
like you have a new set of was it management there, like coaches and stuff, like Thibodeau, like you said, he's bringing in his culture and the way he teaches a team how to play. He has guys there who can implement that are still young enough to, I guess, be really impressioned by him, like Julius Randle. I can't remember exactly. Oh, Austin Rivers is there, who's been, having a good season. Clarkson's there, right? Jordan Clarkson.
No, no. Clarkson's coming off the bench in Utah. Now, Austin was
Utah.
doing
That's I
okay.
looked at that.
Austin was doing okay, but he hasn't played a lot lately because once they got Derrick Rose there, that kind of cut Austin Rivers out of the picture. But also, Elfrid Payton has been actually playing pretty well for you guys. I mean, well, lower for you guys years ago, right? Been playing very well for
Hmm.
the Knicks. So they have pieces. and the hardest part is, as far as coaching, is getting those pieces to buy in and work together. We just saw something happen in Atlanta, but we'll touch on it a little later. But that's the hardest thing for a coach to do, and Thibodeau's done that. And so, yeah, kudos to the Knicks, man. I'm happy to see it. I like the energy that the fans are having right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Could they get out of the first round? I doubt it. But if they keep going the way they're going so far, they'll definitely be in the playoffs at the end.
No, I'm happy to see the turnaround from the team right now. I mean, as the Magic fan, the Magic's at the bottom of the barrel, so I'm just paying attention to the league in general. So it's interesting. Peyton can be used uh, the right way in limited minutes. It's not like he's just trash, and I like his style. He's not super influential all the time, or doesn't know how to impose his will all the time. I don't think so. I'm glad that he has found a team that will at least embrace him and let him do something for a little bit. But I'm happy for the Knicks. Like this, see what they can do this year, and see what Randall can do under Thibodeau.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be huge. Like I said, I think Utah is a good team. We know that, and we know I picked Utah to go a little further last year than they actually did. So, because I kind of saw something there, but for them to be leading the NBA right now is pretty good. Now, of course,
Mhm.
Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, they don't feel as respected. We'll get into that a little later. But they're firing on all cylinders, even though they lost to them Miami recently. But they're firing on all cylinders. Yeah. So.
The reason I got Clarkson mixed up with those two teams is because those are the two teams I was looking up before the
Hmm.
podcast,
Hmm.
and so that's why I said Clarkson. But yeah, I was looking at Utah, and I actually have Gobert in fantasy, so like I know the kind of like stat monster he can be, and I can kind of see where he's coming from, almost with the disrespect thing. But I don't always feel it's intentional. It's just like Utah's that team where it's like it's just out there, kind of in an odd spot, you know.
You sound like
It's
LeBron.
they're not really known for a lot of things. It's easy to forget about them until, say, playoff time. Even
You,
if you are leading the league, it's easy to not think about it.
you sound like LeBron. We'll touch on that a little later.
If I thought I was going to repeat a championship, I don't know if I'd be worried about it either.
Oh yeah. Look, he has to play a little harder this year until AD gets back. So, all right. So
A little bit harder
next,
to get some at third in the West. He ain't
yeah,
worried about nothing.
next up. At this point in the season, there's absolutely no question on who the rookie of the year is going to be, barring injury. Are you surprised with the early success of my little cousin, LaMelo Ball?
No, because, I mean, lots of times the hype train of like NBA fans can be misguided.
Hmm.
But for the most part, it gets people looking. So everybody's been looking at Ball since he's been, I don't know,
Like
in high
13,
school.
14 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
before that. So he is what was advertised. One of the few times that's actually happened. So I'm happy for him. He's still gonna have to figure out some things, but first impressions is like as best as you could hope for. I mean, kid looks incredible. Could keep growing. He's in an environment where he can probably take the right steps and grow naturally. There's people in that management. I mean, we know who the owner is. Well, who better to learn from if you're expecting to be maybe a generational type star? So, I mean, I'm happy for him. It's not necessarily a surprise, but it's it's good to see that he can live up to what he's been hyping up for a long time. Um, what's like who would you make as like a bold comparison ceiling wise to what he could be?
I've always said Steph Curry, due to his court vision and finishing skills. There's one big glaring difference, and of course, that's the three-point shooting. He's never going to be the shooter that Steph Curry is, but all the intangibles that Steph Curry brings, LaMelo has that in a bigger package because he's 6 inches, almost 6 inches taller than Curry, which is crazy. The kid is special. And what caught me off guard this week, first, let me say this. He's the first kid at his age outside of LeBron and Luka Doncic to average 26 and 6 as a starter. Okay. And I think his scoring is going to creep up as the season goes on. Secondly, since Michael Jordan has been an owner, he rarely speaks on his own players. Rarely. I don't even recall him ever doing it. But he said this kid has already surpassed their expectations for his rookie year. That's a huge vote of confidence for LaMelo to hear the GOAT say something like that when a GOAT really doesn't talk about his own team that way. So he has that going
Mhm.
for him. And the third thing that he has going for him that a lot of people don't talk about is that he's producing, but he still has Gordon Hayward to lean on. So he doesn't have all the pressure on him uh, to win games because you still have a proven vet at your side that can kind of help you transition from the role of a superstar to maybe an all-star. So I think Gordon Hayward's impact, because Gordon Hayward is having a sneaky good season, I think his impact on LaMelo Ball is going to help him grow as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So kudos to Charlotte. I know Charlotte's in the playoff race. I figured they would be. So I'm happy for all parties involved here. So tonight, we have a condensed All Star weekend. We're going to have the All Star game surrounded by the 3-point shooting contest, the skills challenge, and then also, of course, the dunk contest. Let me put this up on the screen. Boom. Hurry up. Get on the screen. It's not getting on the screen. There it is. Okay. So for the skills challenge, we have Robert Covington, Julius Randle, Luka Doncic, Domantas Sabonis, Chris Paul, and your boy, Nikola Vucevic. Who you think's going to pull that off? Sometimes it's a big man. Bam took it home last year for the Miami Heat. So who you think? You think it's going to be Vooch?
Gotta go with the hometown favorite, Vooch.
I gotta go with
And
Vooch.
and honestly, and honestly, like he deserves respect put on his name. He gets disrespected by some of his own team's fans.
Fans,
I'm
yeah.
not one of them. I've always loved Vooch, you know that.
Right,
So
right.
I'm gonna go with him as my dark horse favorite. Um,
To win
I'm
the
happy
skills
he's there.
challenge.
I'm glad he's on one of the teams too. So good for Vooch. And then my other pick is gonna be Luca.
Yeah, I mean, Luca's actually shaped up like a big man. So yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
What
go
about you?
with I'm gonna go with Sabonis actually. So because he can shoot because you gotta hit the free throw.
Hmm.
He can shoot and he can actually pass the ball very well, which is in his blood. So I'm gonna go with Sabonis on this. So
The
next
young
up,
Vooch.
yeah, next up we have the 3-point shootout, and there's some very interesting names on here. I was looking at this morning. I'm like, who am I gonna pick? So we're gonna start with
Hmm.
both of our boys, or a boy, Devin Booker, Jalen Brown, Stephen Curry, Zach Levine, Donovan Mitchell, who's growing on me, and then Jason Tatum.
I didn't think Devin Booker was in it anymore. I thought Mike Conley was. There's that the All Star game too.
That's the All Star game. So forgive me. Yeah, you just reminded me. So they may have a backup replacement for Booker. I haven't seen it yet. So Jalen Brown, Stephen Curry, Zach Levine, Donovan Mitchell, and Jason Tatum. Who you got?
You pick first this time.
I mean, you can't pick against Steph, man. You just can't pick against Steph in this. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
That's my pick.
all right. Everyone
That's my
else,
pick.
everyone else is a streaky 3-point shooter. Outside of Booker, but you can't pick against Steph. This
I
Booker
was
would have gave him a
looking.
little run for the money though, just a little bit.
I was looking at the list. I'm like, oh, I got Booker. Oh wait, he's probably not in it. Ooh, Donovan Mitchell maybe. And then I saw Steph Curry, and I was like, why'd they invite Curry to a contest? Like, yeah, Steph Curry. Let him
Yeah.
shoot with his left to make it fair, maybe.
Look, I'm gonna channel Charles Barkley a little bit for this last one. So the slam dunk contest, okay? We have Anthony Simmons. He plays for Portland. He has a Magic connection, being named after Penny Hardaway. Obi Toppin, the hot rookie in New York right now, who's getting more minutes. Okay, he was born a Knicks fan, and now he plays for the Knicks, so that's a good story. And I'm sorry, here's my inner Charles Barkley. Cassius Stanley, who he played for, I don't remember. But he's in the slam dunk contest. Who you got?
Um, I don't know. Let's go with Obi, just because I guess.
The New
Because
York
I don't.
Magic. New York Magic.
Yeah, I
I
guess
will
I don't know.
I will say I've seen Anthony play a little bit. His body type is similar to Levine, so he should be able to fly a little bit. I haven't seen him do anything explosive in those games, of course, because he doesn't get a lot of minutes. Obi is a little heavier than
Yeah.
Anthony. He's not, big, but he's wide, but he's a little heavier than Anthony. So I think from a creative standpoint, it'd be easier for Anthony. Sorry, I can't speak on Cassius. Love the name, of course. Can't speak on him. Who he played for? Y'all help me out. Drop it in the comments. My bad. But I'm gonna go with Anthony, but I wouldn't be upset if Obi won just for the New York connection because they need it. God, they need it. So
Um, since Aaron Gordon got robbed twice, I don't know who's ever gonna win dunk contest because it doesn't make sense anymore.
do I need to draw nine and hold it up for you?
All I know is that he got robbed twice, and the first time, I don't. I can't even talk about it. I can't even talk about it. It not only did the first time AG get in a dunk contest made me love it again, it
Hmm.
also, after the second time he got robbed, I said, I'm done with this altogether. Done with it. Can't watch it no more. Kills me.
It kills you.
Dwayne
Um,
Wade robbed him.
the first time per the rules he lost fair and square per the rules.
They should have no. They should have at least been co.
The
The
second
very
time,
least they should have been co.
the second time, Wade thought it was a nine. So I mean, you can't. And I think it was another nine in there too. I think so. Um, I can't go against the goat of the Miami Heat. I can't. Um, now I will say
Trash,
this.
Paul.
I will. Don't be disrespectful. I will say this. Um, I don't know if you've heard some of the things that the Heat did leading up to the All Star break, but I will say I've never seen it before. As Riley's like jousting with me over here, I don't think I've seen it before. As far as Jimmy Butler declined the All Star game invitation because Bam wasn't selected to the team. Have you ever heard of that before?
Um, well, no, but I don't know if it's never happened, but
Well,
I've never really just openly heard about it. No.
right. So I thought that was pretty admirable on Jimmy Butler's behalf because he was going to be an injury replacement. And so Bam actually did the same thing in the skills competition because usually they have the previous winners, back. So Bam declined the invitation to the skills challenge, which he won last year, due to the fact that Duncan Robinson wasn't invited to the 3-point contest. So I'm like, okay, the Miami Heat got a little thing going on here. Um, so I've never seen that before. So kudos to my team. They are a Class A organization in the NBA. The three-time world champion. So kudos to my team for doing that.
Kudos to you for finding a way to brag about the Heat when they're behind the Knicks.
They don't want us in the playoffs, though.
And yeah,
They don't
y'all
want.
got some
Look,
stuff to figure out. I don't want to hear about it. Y'all are gonna get
look,
Brooklyn in the first round and get demolished.
look. We were I think we were the fifth or sixth seed and got to the finals. So that's going to give New York Knicks hope.
Hmm.
All right, let's talk about these All-Star teams. Okay, who you want to go with first? Team LeBron or Team Durant?
It don't matter to me, man. LeBron, since he's got more rings.
All right, so let's. Oh shit.
I don't know why you said that.
All
Because
right, so
fuck Durant. I don't know
oh,
why.
no Kevin Durant rants today.
I'm
Okay,
sorry. I'm sorry. That's it.
look, you hate Durant, I hate LeBron.
You found a way to praise the Heat. I found a way to trash Kevin Durant.
I'm gonna always praise the Heat. Come on. All right, here we go. So Team LeBron, we have Giannis, Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, Jokic. Lord, did I make a mistake? Okay. Then we have, why would they do this? Damian Lillard, Ben Simmons, Chris Paul, Jalen Brown, Paul George, Domantas Sabonis, and Rudy Gobert. So that's going to be Team LeBron. Anyone stands out there for you?
Everyone in the starting five.
I I'm surprised that he picks Giannis, but I know why he picks Giannis because we know how LeBron is. So good starting five though, right?
He's got a team of giants.
I mean, he's a giant himself.
Giannis, Rudy Gobert, Jokic.
Oh yeah, even Paul George is huge. So I mean, he's tall. So yeah, he got some bigs on that team. So now let's go to Team Durant. Excuse me. I do think it's interesting that LeBron didn't pick Kyrie Irving. I think there's still some heat there. All right, so Team Durant, first pick, Kyrie Irving, Joel Embiid, who we'll talk about a little later, Kawhi Leonard, Bradley Beal. Kudos to him. He is balling out of his mind and leading the league in scoring right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum, James Harden, Devin Booker, who has been replaced by Mike Conley. Kudos to Conley. Zion Williamson, Zach Levine, Julius Randle for all my Knicks fans, Nikola Vucevic for all my Magic fans, and then pick the last Donovan Mitchell. So
Hmm.
wait, how you feel? How you feel about Durant's team?
They sound really good,
But
like the team B to team A.
oh boy, oh boy. Now see, because of that, Kevin Durant's team is going to win. Kevin Durant's going to go out there and drop 50 in the All Star game and win the game with his team.
No,
Oh
he'll probably like sit out half the game or something.
wait, he's not playing. I don't think. No, he's not playing.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
okay.
not playing. I just remember that. Yeah,
That
he's not
that
playing.
sounds more like what I'm
James
expecting.
Harden is
Listen,
going to go out there and drop
if
50.
Durant's team wins, Vucevic's gonna win MVP.
That's what we doing today.
That's my that's my prediction for the All Star game.
That's your dark horse prediction.
Vucevic's gonna win
Uh,
everything this year.
let's see. They're gonna be in Atlanta. We'll touch on that a little later too. I think actually Bradley Beal is gonna get a lot of run today, tonight. Beal is
Mm.
on fire. I've watched a few Wizards games, of course, because Russell Westbrook is there. Bill is on absolute fire. If Team LeBron wins, I think LeBron's going to get it because we know how LeBron is. So I'll just leave it at that.
What do you think the scores are gonna be close to?
I have no idea. I'm not going to predict scores because what's going to happen is I'm going to go to sleep in the third quarter anyway. So I'm not going to predict any score.
Funny.
Dude, I'm waking up at 5:30 every morning. No, I'm going to be sleeping
Um,
by the third quarter. All right. So, but I do think Team LeBron is going to pull it off because that's a pretty stacked team. So I think Team LeBron's going
it,
to pull it off.
it'll be just like usual, high scoring, no
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
defense. We'll see.
oh yeah. They're doing the thing where they honor Kobe Bryant as well again this year. So hopefully they just keep that in every All Star game
Good.
going forward. Yeah.
How would you
Because
feel about them changing the logo?
oh Lord.
Okay. We're not talking about it if a headphone falls out. He panicked and his ear opened up and the headphone fell out.
Hey, we're back. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I don't know what's been going on with these headphones. I told you I'm rusty, man. My head's big and I got little ears, so maybe that's the reason why. All right, so what do I think about the logo being changed? I don't support the logo being changed to Kobe. I do support the logo being changed. It has to be Michael. So I've always said if they were to change the logo, it has to go to Michael. So
Okay.
mhm, yep. So next up, mid-season. Of course, we're fans of the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic, respectively. Are you surprised with where your team is currently, which is second to the last in the Eastern Conference?
No, not with all the injuries we've had. This not surprising.
Okay, got
That's
it.
it. I mean, you can go look at the roster, see the injuries we've had the year, and um, it was tremendous. So that's it.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think that the medical staff has to be looked at? Because yearly now, you guys have been injured a lot. So do you think that's something that has to be looked at?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it never hurts. I mean, when you continuously having issues, it never
Hmm.
hurts. But so I guess the the types of injuries we've had with some of the players that have had them don't necessarily surprise me. With
Hmm.
Isaac's continuous problems, I mean, kind of like his build and his play style. I mean, we've seen big guys never really get going in this league because, one reason or another. That
Right.
doesn't surprise me. Fultz's style of play doesn't necessarily surprise me. We've seen slashing point guards get taken out year after year in this league, even when they're not. I mean, look at the injuries Stephen Curry had when he started.
With
I
his
mean,
ankles still.
yeah. I mean, sometimes, and then after he's had nothing but success. So I mean, yes and no.
Okay.
Um, some of it has to be on the team, but there's no way it's all of it.
Oh yeah, of course. So my Miami Heat are currently sixth in the East. I haven't panicked because, as I mentioned earlier, we were fifth or sixth last year due to tie breaks when we made our finals run. We would have won the finals if we wouldn't have got injured in the finals, but that's not for today. Um,
Yeah, not
as of
for.
as of this episode of the podcast, are are the Heat ready to win the championship? No, they're not ready yet because they haven't. This group hasn't played together long enough. I mean, we lost Butler for 3.5 weeks earlier in the season due to COVID protocols. Avery Bradley's been out. Tyler Hero's been out. Bam's missed a couple of games. Goran has been in and out. He's collectively missed all month, So they're not ready yet. They're not cohesive yet. If they can stay healthy for the remainder of the season, they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. I'm not sure where they're going to fall. Right now, we're one full game out of the number four position, so we're right there, as you mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
along with the Knicks. we're right there. The Knicks are half a game ahead of us. A week ago, we were out of the playoffs. Like we were closer to the Magic than we were to where we are now. But once Butler came back, we actually won like 10 or 14 games, so that vaulted us back up. Um, so as of this episode, can they win a championship? No. A month from now, if they can gel, we're gonna give some teams some problems. Of course, that big monster of Brooklyn is out there. I haven't seen anything from Miami that would tell me that they can beat Brooklyn, 4 times in a week. Anyone else in the East we can beat. I don't fear anyone else in the East except for Brooklyn. So we'll have to see how the playoffs fall.
Do you think it's a safe bet to say this year it's probably going to be Philly, Brooklyn, or Milwaukee? I mean, Philly looks pretty good.
The state of Wisconsin is about to turn on me because I've been Giannis's biggest fan for years. I don't think Milwaukee has a chance in hell. They're going to be a good regular season team, and then they're going to catch another L in the playoffs. I don't know by who. It may be Philly. It may be God knows if they see Miami, they're going to lose. Um, I think Philly or Brooklyn are going to be, those two teams are going to be in the conference finals. We'll see, how the positions fall out, but those teams are going to be in the conference finals. The West is still wide open because we don't know the status of Anthony Davis. He has an Achilles strain. You have to be very, 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 very careful with that. Very careful with that. So he's going to be out for another 2 to 3 weeks. So LeBron is doing his LeBron things right now to keep the Lakers afloat. But Utah's out there. Utah's dangerous. Denver, they're rising up a little bit. They're still dangerous. So there's a couple of teams that the Lakers don't want to run up against because the Lakers have caught some L's where people are looking like, oh shit, they beat the Lakers. And Portland just beat them recently, so it's like, okay, okay,
Yeah, but with Anthony Davis not being out, it's not like this is LeBron from 10 years ago. He has the energy or the probably the want to go out there by himself all the time. I'm not like saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's
hmm
the Lakers aren't going to be as I mean they're sitting third in the West, and I know that can change, but even with everything they've had go on with Anthony Davis, they're still third in the West, and
they
they're
are.
looking at the playoffs anyways. If they
Yeah,
get
they're gonna be in the playoffs. Yeah,
they get beat by a team with talent like Portland, that to me is expected. That teams like Portland, Utah, they should be capitalizing on those games against LA to see what they can do. But
hmm
what surprised me the most until recently has been Dallas. I know they've been winning games lately, but I mean they're at the bottom of the playoff race, and last year they looked like one of the more dominant teams.
yeah. They've had some injuries and COVID related
Mm-hmm.
with players being out. They know they need to make a move. The move that they're talking about, I don't agree with, which is that they've thrown Porzingis' name out there, and I'm like, no, you got to keep him. Trade someone, trade Tim Hardaway Jr. Um, so I don't necessarily agree with it, but they're looking to make some moves. But right now, Dallas is eight. Another surprise out west is Phoenix being number two. Kudos to Phoenix. Kudos to Chris Paul. Devin Booker has kind of stepped it up a little bit before his injuries because he started off the season a little inconsistent. We know he's been
Yeah,
distracted. We know why. Not going to get into that. But it looks like he's kind of settled into that role now and playing off of Chris Paul, who's doing Chris Paul things and doing them greatly. So he's a calming presence for that young team. So kudos to Phoenix. Kudos to Monty Williams because they were down for a long time. So I'm happy to see it. They barely missed the playoffs last year in the bubble. Remember how that
yeah.
shook down? So kudos to them
Felt like
because
they should have been in it.
you could see then that like okay, this team's going to do something next year. I didn't think they were going to do number two in the West, but you could kind of see Phoenix had it going, and Golden State's right there too. They kind of caught fire lately, so they're half a game
Surprising
behind.
too.
Yeah, they're half a game behind Dallas right now. That's very surprising, but you mentioned the other day how great Draymond Green has been playing. So, your thoughts on Draymond?
When he is just well, he's not always just keeping his mouth shut. We definitely know he's opinionated more so than some players. But
Mhm.
uh, when he's just playing and he's not doing I don't know slightly dirty things on the court or I don't know just being wild, um, I enjoy what he brings to that team in terms. They're just a unique situation. I feel like he's not like a huge guy or anything. He's just a hustle guy, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's fun to watch that sometimes. Golden State. I mean, whenever Clay comes back, they're gonna be dangerous. Just those guys. I mean,
yeah,
It's gonna remind people.
yeah. He,
Before I forget, though, I wanted to ask you earlier. This is unrelated. How much? How many years does Bradley Beal have left on his contract in Washington?
I
Do you
believe,
know?
I believe it is one. I would have to look it up because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I believe it is one, uh, which is why they were going back and forth on is he going to be traded? Is he going to stay? Yada, yada, yada. He said he wants to stay. He said that before the season started that he wants to stay. Um, we know the issues that him and John Wall had on the court, so they eventually moved John Wall, and Bill has been playing spectacularly this year.
Mm,
Like he is playing out of his mind, and they're close. I thought they would be in at, right at this time. I thought they would be one of the top eight teams. They're not there yet, but they're very close now. They're starting to figure it out a little bit. So we'll see how it shakes down at the end because the teams are so tight in the Eastern Conference. Like There's like 2 or 3 games separating the fourth from the 12th spot. So the East is so tight right now. But
I
I
just
hate that.
I feel like if Washington didn't finish well this year, like it, if I was Bill, I would just see it as maybe it's time to move on or getting close to moving on because it's not just did we have problems me and Wall, it's do I have faith in the management here anymore?
Mm.
You know, it's you clearly have tons of talent. How much longer it's like are you gonna be like Dame and stay in Portland or Giannis and stay in Milwaukee? How much longer are these teams gonna get the chance to keep these top caliber players when it almost feels like they don't have a real shot at a deep playoff run or a championship? It's like
I'm
you can
looking.
get your money, I feel like, almost anywhere if you're that caliber.
I'm checking Bill's contract now. He actually has 2 years left on that deal. Now here's the
Mm,
deal. This year he's getting paid $28 million. Next year, $34 million. And in the following year, which is probably going to be a player option, $37 million. That's a lot
okay.
of
Yeah.
money. Now, so if he forces his way out, because there's a rumor that, okay, not to go off too far off on a tangent and not to make this New York Knicks heavy, but there's a rumor now that the Knicks are in prime position again to land a superstar, but it has to be via trade. So that a report came out earlier this week that there is a player who's interested in forcing his way to New York, but no one knows who that player is. So people have looked at Bill, they've looked at Lillard, they've looked at Booker, and like, okay, which one of these guys are going to be the one to do it? I don't think it's going to be Booker because Phoenix they're number 2 in the West, so Booker's out
I
of the
don't think
question.
so.
Right. Dame, Dame. Like we know the struggles with Dame in Portland. We know it has to happen. I don't know if he's ever going to do it. Bill is probably the likely suspect, but we just don't know yet.
Is he from there by any chance, or
No,
is he
no, Bill.
from
No, he's from
someplace
St.
close?
Louis. He's from the Midwest.
Okay.
But New York's only a 3 hour drive, three or 4 hour drive from Washington. So he'll still be kind of in the same area. So we'll see.
Yes, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But I don't think you give up on him and Westbrook just yet because they are trending forward. But the East is getting so much better. I don't, as far as 1 through 15, no, the Wizards don't have enough right now, even if they were to make the playoffs to make a deep run. So, what are some of your final thoughts?
Not much. I hope everybody enjoys the All Star weekend for what it is. Nothing too serious. I hope nobody gets hurt, no players get hurt.
Yeah,
Um, so I just hope there's a little controversy going into the weekend. I just hope we enjoy it, move on, and see what the rest of the season holds.
yeah. I hope the players keep themselves safe and everyone else keeps themselves safe. The NBA sent out 200 cease and desist letters to various promotions over the weekend for people using NBA logo and NBA themes to promote parties in Atlanta, where the All Star Weekend is. I've heard due to a small number of hotel rooms being available that the girls are being bussed in on U-Hauls. I've actually seen pictures of that, so I just hope everyone stays safe.
You all.
Dude, they got the girls in U-Hauls.
They got to strap those things down, make sure they don't fall all over
Oh
each other.
man, it's gonna be so much COVID in Atlanta this week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this episode. We hope to see you again next week. We are out.